Okay, so this is a Silver 2 Moira video for Hysteria. This is what they posted. What could I do better to win games like this? I feel like I'm getting the least amount of deaths, the most amount of healing, and sometimes the most damage every game. That's interesting. But we still fumble in the end. I went 57 to 27, 9. I think that's kills, assists, deaths as Moira, and we still couldn't close it out. So it sounds like you're probably gonna have a pretty good game here. It's probably gonna run pretty long too, is my guess. It's a 23, 24 minute long game. Um, so let's take a look, see what you can improve. All right. So first thing I always think of when I'm playing support, most notably, is what my tank is, which is going to dictate what the overall team style is, hopefully, right? So your tank here is Sigma. So Sigma is a poke tank, right? He's not a let's run in there and kill everybody right away tank. He's just like, we're going to wear you down, right? Positionally burn your resources until eventually the other team collapses. So the other support you have is a Mercy. I would expect the Mercy to be taking care of the DPS here for the most part, especially Genji. You're not going to do much healing there. You're going to be mostly pocketing the Sigma here. I don't know that Moira's kind of like a tough hero because I think it's really easy to get good stats, but not actually have a lot of impact as Moira. And we're probably going to see examples of that over the course of the game. But just something to think about is you actually don't have that much to heal here. Moira would not be my first pick here. I think Baptiste here would be great, for example. I think you could also run Ana here. I think you could potentially even get away with like Zen. Definitely run Kiriko here. I think Kiriko's playable in all scenarios. But long story short, sometimes healing isn't actually enough to win the game. So let's see what happens. Alright, you come out the gate. You're trying to figure out where they are. You throw a damage orb. I wouldn't throw this damage orb. You don't actually know where they are. You haven't seen anybody, right? This is like, it's 8 seconds until you can throw the next one. Like, I want every single damage orb I have to be able to hit somebody, hopefully use up the whole thing so I can build a whole charge. Right, that finally hit some people at the very end. Which is honestly a lot more than anything else. Okay, great. So the first thing is Sojourn's up top. She's like nailing you right here. I'd probably instinctively fade because she's got a really good headshot angle here. You don't know if anybody else is here. That's pretty great. So you do fade right away. That's good. Right, so you take cover here in a safe spot. You're still healing your Sigma right now, even though he's totally full right now. And as a reminder, if you tap them once, it heals, I think, 70 health over the next, like, 3-4 seconds. I don't remember the exact numbers. But it heals a good amount if you just tap him once. Like, you don't need to be spraying him nonstop here. You need to be healing your Genji, which is good. You got that. Okay, this is way too much. Like, at this point, you can stop healing. He'll be totally fine. The rest will heal naturally. You're throwing another damage orb. This is not a great angle because, again, you want to throw it like towards them. This is going to need to bounce around like crazy to eventually get somebody. I would, again, walk forward here with my Sigma. Like, you're full health. There's no reason to be playing this far back. You're still healing the Genji. He's not in danger. You're looking around now for nothing.
Need a moment to recharge.
Okay, so because of all your extra spray healing, you're totally out of healing juice right now. Like, this should not happen. In this example, I would probably be like 80% plus because nothing has happened that has caused you to need to spray this much health out. Like, you can just chill. You're still looking to the right. My sound's low, but I don't actually think I heard anything up there. Okay, you got slept. It's pretty unlucky. I mean, I think that's fine. You're going to be fine. All right, so the Genji got naded, so he dies. Again, you got slept. Nothing you could have done about this. It is what it is. Your Sigma's purple. You throw healing orb way too late. He was dead for like a while. Let's see this in real time. Okay, like you've oversprayed like so much of this. 90% of that healing was unnecessary. Okay, you got slept. Okay. He's dead. Okay, I mean like in real time it's reasonable you threw the healing orb. I would never, a good tip I learned as Moira is never throw healing orbs anywhere that isn't parallel to the ground. That way, like, if it misses them for whatever reason, it'll come back and most likely it'll find somebody else. Either healing orbs or damage orbs, same thing. If you throw a healing orb here, it probably bounces back and goes towards your Sigma so you can heal him, but throwing it down to the ground is going to cause it to take a wild crazy angle. Again, actually, I guess it does manage to heal him. I don't think that's consistent, but, you do you, I guess. Okay, so now you heal. So this is a great example where like playing Moira gives you no value, right? It's like you have a Sigma and you have a Mercy here. Your Genji is dead. Where is your Ashe right now? Okay, your Ashe is behind you, right? But like more healing isn't gonna help you guys take this point. You know what I mean? Like, literally, your Sigma's already full health. He's got the shield barrier up. Like, nothing is happening right now. Versus if you're Baptiste, you could potentially kill that Sojourn. If you're Zenyatta, you could kill that Sojourn. If you're Kiriko, you could you could have potentially saved people if you hadn't gotten slept by cleansing them. Like, there's nothing that you're doing right now as Moira that is adding any value. You're just existing, unfortunately. All right, so your Mercy is getting the res off, which is crazy. Okay, so your Sigma had a shield up to try to protect the Mercy, but he put it up way too early. I would probably 80 strafe body block for the Mercy so that you can get the res off while throwing a healing orb to get the heal off, to get the res off rather. Right, so I would step forward right now. Okay, if you got it, you're good. So again, like, you see that healing here is not doing anything. Like, in some scenarios, many scenarios, healing is a big difference, but right now, healing is not helping you at all. Right, so you got 2 DPS here. Your Mercy could easily heal these 2 by all on their own. Right, Sigma is just not a greedy tank. He doesn't need a lot of healing to do his job, compared to someone like Orisa or Rein or even Winston are examples of tanks that really need a lot of healing to do stuff. Sigma doesn't. He, by nature, is a very self-resilient tank, and thus there's not a lot to heal here. Okay. So you throw in the damage orb, which I think is reasonable. Again, you don't have to throw a heal orb. Your Sigma's moved high ground. I would follow your Sigma. Like, there's no point in you being down here. Right? You can even shift over there if you want to. You're not in any particular danger, but, like, I would follow your Sigma here. Like, this is a mistake. What are you going to do from low ground here, right? Like, your Mercy can heal your Genji if necessary. Your Genji, if I'm the Genji, I'm not expecting to get healed in this situation. Like, he's walking to the point on low ground. You can't stay with him the whole time. You're exposing yourself to a lot of danger. You should just go up top and play with your Ashe and your Sigma. Okay, so you go here. You're obsessed with trying to right-click people down. Note that your Sigma is half health right now, and you're not close enough to heal him. If you'd followed him high ground the whole time, you would have dropped with him, and you've been able to heal him. Right? I would throw a heal orb right now. You're way too far away. This is not reaching him. Okay, now you shift too late into him. Right? You jumped, which I wouldn't have done. That actually makes you an easier target right now. I would just stay on the ground and immediately throw in the heal orb to try to save my Sigma. Unfortunately, you do not do that, right? If you throw a heal orb to the left, their Sigma wouldn't have eaten it, and then sprayed your Sigma, it would heal. Instead, you're going for kills. This is a bad call. Like, you just heal like 3 times as much damage as you can deal, so why would you damage if you could heal people? Like, it doesn't make any sense here. If you save your Sigma here, this fight is won. Like, they're already down. They might even be able to turn this. Okay, the res, yeah, you guys should have this. Honestly, Mercy's carrying here. Like, the res of the Genji and then res of Sigma here is what made the difference here. So this is a great opportunity where you could have healed your Sigma to get ult charge, but that's fine. Now you're out here trying to get picks as a Moira/farmer ult charge, which I don't think is a great idea. So in this situation, it's probably you in the cart, right? Because your Mercy is much more mobile than you are. She can stay with the front line. What you're doing right now is crazy. Like, I would throw the damage orb and just go back to the cart. Okay, well, okay, I guess everybody else will be moving the cart. And, like, this is like an opportunity cost issue, right? The fact that you aren't moving the cart means that your DPS can't move up because they're the ones that have to sit on the cart. They're way more likely to get a pick than you are. So you should just stay on the cart and recognize that that is actually your job in the situation. Okay, you have Coalescence right now. You somehow managed to kill someone with a random bouncing damage orb, so that's great. That's not a reliable thing. Now you've popped Cole, which, like, is an interesting call. They are low, right? So I guess you can, in fact, get this kill here. I don't think this is going to be consistent, but you're going to get these kills, so your tracking is good. Right? Kill the Ana. So yeah, this is actually ended up being like a pretty big play. Again, I would heal your Sig here, because again, if you heal your Sig, there's no way you lose that 2-on-1. If you damage their Sig, it's possible that your Sig dies and you trade. Like, I would heal the Sig there. Alright. Dragon's coming, but it's not a great dragon. It's way too far away. You can just kind of sit here and be fine. Okay, you are chasing this Hanzo. This is a mistake, right? Now you're cutting no man's land. If there are hit scan heroes over here, that you would just die for that. Okay, so now this is danger, right? Sojourn has popped overclock. She's looking for a kill. I would fade immediately and probably hide around the left corner, because she is looking right at you. Again, very dangerous. I think this is reasonable dive now at this point in time, right? Coming back in, I think that's reasonable to kind of fade in there. They're certainly not focused on you. You're focused on damaging, which is not ideal. Again, I think if you keep the Sigma alive here, you'd be totally fine. But you're obsessed with trying to get this kill in the Sojourn. There's plenty of opportunities where you could heal. Like, you've already lost 2 of your teammates. Your Sigma's now popped ulti to try to turn this fight around, but he is super low. Like, this Soldier's gonna die no matter what. I would be healing my Sigma right now. You still have heal ward right now. Okay. Like, what's your... I mean, your Sigma's just killing it. Like, this is very frustrating. Like, as someone who plays tank a lot, this would be incredibly frustrating to me. Like, I just would not understand why you're not healing me. Like, your sum total of damage here is maybe 300 from this fight began. You could have healed 1,000 damage by this point if you've been healing people. Your weight, that's way too far away for your heal spray to do anything. So now you come back. This is probably feeling pretty frustrating to you because you're like, oh, I got Cole, I got basically 3-4 picks there. Yeah, you won that. You won that first fight. Like, totally, definitely, that was you winning that first fight. But then you totally whiffed the second fight by just not healing people. So there's a time to damage and there's a time to heal. You're kind of in default damage mode, which is a problem.
I am optimized. Misery made nothing.
So again, definitely dangerous with the Sojourn above when she builds charge. I guess right there I wouldn't have faded because it's unlikely she would have had enough charge like that to kill me. Okay, I don't know why you're looking in the back right now. So your Mercy is totally fine. You should be looking at your Genji. Right? And again, you keep throwing way too much healing. You see how much extra healing you're spraying out? Like, you're just going absolutely bonkers right now. So Moira definitely killable here. I think she faded in. Right. So this is painful watching these. Yeah, so she fades in. I would 100% be trying to kill her here, right? Because it's like without fade, she's incredibly vulnerable. This is why I tell you not to use fade like poorly. She's dead. So now this fight should be won. It's 5-on-4. They lost their main support. All right, your Genji's bladed. Your Winston's killing somebody. Okay, I don't know why you keep zapping barriers. Not helpful. Right, you're healing your Mercy, who is dead.
Enhancing your vitals.
Okay, not a good damage orb. Okay, I think damaging there is probably fine.
The payload has reached the ship.
So again, should be your job to move the cart. You're not gonna get a pick unless something crazy happens. But you throw that damage orb, which takes a lucky angle. Okay, this is an incredibly dangerous challenge. He just kind of gives up, but like Storm Arrow or a headshot, he kills you there, or just 2 body shots, you die. So remember, you do 40 damage a second with right click, I believe. That's 5 seconds for somebody to not be able to kill you. Like, they can almost, I think they can actually melee you if you could without the heal. They can melee you to death if you were antied faster than you can kill them with the right click. It is really not a lot of damage. Okay, so instead of saving your Genji, which you easily could have done, right? So let's watch this. Right, just keep spraying him here. Like, the fact that you popped Cole there has him die. Like, if you just keep healing him, he lives. Okay, so near Cole, you're targeting the tank, which is the worst possible target for the tank. Okay, you switch. Good. You're killing the Soldier. Fine. Alright, now you're going for backline, which is fine. You had to watch out for rock. He should have rocked you instead of whatever else he was rocking, but that's fine. So now you're focusing on the backline. That's fine. Okay, you killed the Kiriko. You missed the damage orb. Again, I don't think your Winston leaves if you're healing him there. Or at least your Winston shouldn't, right? He probably felt nervous as to why he wasn't getting healed, right? Look at his health. So he's at full right now. He's dropped down. He's at 400, right? Now he's at 300 something. Now he's like, oh shoot, I'm gotta get out. If you just heal your Winston there, he just stands and kills the well, I guess she's coalescing, but you can definitely build more towards ulti at least by zapping both of them very quickly. Again, not healing your Reaper here. You're right-clicking the Moira, even though you can't do enough damage to kill her. Right? You're still not healing your Reaper here. This is unnecessary. Again, if you save your Reaper here, he kills the Moira, no problem. Okay, now you're obsessed with trying to kill Moira and you die. Honestly, if you want to do that much damage, you might as well just play DPS. You're like very overly focused on trying to get picks. in situations where you'd be far better off just saving your team. Okay, some awkward movement here, not ideal. Okay, so I would probably try to play the front side of the cart. Okay, so you're being pressured on the back. I think fading forward here is reasonable because the Sojourn was there. I would have played around the corner though, because again, you know the Sojourn's here, like trying to kill you. I would definitely be healing these many injured people versus your 40 damage a second against Kiriko, right? Like, just heal them. Like, I get that you eventually get this kill, but like, they're all, your team is so low here. Like, you lose your Winston for this. You lose your Winston and your Reaper. Okay, great. Like, you picked the Sigma. None of this matters. You're not gonna kill them. You're not gonna win the fight at this point, right? Oh, you will. Your Genji's gonna frag out. Okay. Mistaken. You guys are still gonna win this. I still don't think it was the right call not to heal them, but evidently it worked. So what do I know?
Humanity is 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, damage orb here is a good call. I would not play low ground here because again, you should always hold high ground whenever possible, as all heroes all the time. If they force them to force you off high ground. Okay, you ate that shot, reactive, stayed. I think that's reasonable. You're healing nobody. Like all your teammates are full on health. You can't see your tank here, which is a big problem. So your tank is taking a ton of damage, and you're not with your diva. Granted, she's like pretty far forward, which is not a great call, but like that's sort of your job, is to kind of cover for your tank's mistakes. You throw a damage orb here. So by default, if you are in a team fight, I think pretty much everybody universally says you should be using a heal orb unless you're specifically trying to isolate and kill one person. And I think that is good advice, is that you should throw heal orbs by default, because it heals more and faster than it does damage.
Double kill. You make it.
Your like movement here is not great, right? Like, you're like healing and you like strafe behind the wall, so some of the spray gets lost, and now like this happens because you're distracted because you still haven't healed the Mercy, and things are starting to falter right now. Okay, so the heal orb, you res the Genji. I can't believe that your Rein dies there. Like, there's no reason for your Rein to have died there, except for the fact that the other Moira is also trying to damage people, right? Let's look at that from her perspective. Like, she has full healing. She just stops healing him. Oh, she's out of juice. That's what's going on here. Yeah, because her management's not very good, so she's out of juice at a critical time, which she really shouldn't. Like, that should almost never happen as Moira, is that you run out of juice. All right, so the Rein dies here. Again, this stuff's not gonna, at higher elos, like, this is simply not gonna happen. You're just right-clicking this Moira down. You fade backwards. I think this is fine. I don't think being aggressive. To be clear, I don't think being aggressive with Moira is a bad call. I think that you're making, I think, a lot of poor decisions around when to damage people. This is insane. Right, you're at their spawn right now. Like, now you don't have fade. Again, if I was on the other team, I heard you fade, I'd immediately come hunt you down. Right-clicking shields is a poor decision. I don't even think you're low on juices anyway. Yeah, you're at full juice. Faded. So I'm still thinking, hey, I have a diva back there. I wonder if it's possible for me to save her. It is not. Cole here, I think, is a good call. Kill the Sojourn and then save people. Yeah, this is fine. I'm pointing at the ground if necessary. Okay, on the point, I assume it's the. What's that?
Not your finest hour.
Okay, we'll skip forwards.
Preparing your cellular makeup.
Okay, way too much. Again, you're overspraying like so much when people who are full. Okay, now you're being chased down by the Moira coalescing, which means you should be healing your Mercy, right? Like, you can easily out-heal Coalescence. There's no scenario where the Coalescence does not do that much damage. You can easily out-heal Coalescence and save your Mercy. Because she's under pressure, she panics and runs over there, right? If you heal her, maybe she's like, oh, wait, I can just stand next to you and I won't die from this. But instead, because she's under pressure and she's losing health, she runs into the enemy team. All right, so the Junkrat has shown up in your face somehow. I would be trying to shift to not die, I would probably shift and run towards behind my diva, but you don't do that. Because why? Why don't you do this? Okay, jumps here. You have to, okay, you're trying to right click him for no reason, and he just lands 2 directs and you die, right? So just threw that away for no reason. Alright, you're coming back. They're gonna cap this. I don't even know if there's a reasonable contest. Nope. You're too far away from your mercy. Yeah, there you go. A little bit closer. Okay, you're still farming, trying to farm coal. I mean, you're good at farming coal. That's for sure. You're definitely good at farming coal lessons. Okay, you get your mercy, which is the right call here. Yeah. Okay. So due to your overspraying, you're once again way out of juice. Your Sojourn dies. I mean, if you had juice, you probably would have healed her up more, which might have prevented her from dying. It's kind of her fault too for peeking when she's low, but you know, 50-50 blame there. But now you're fighting 4 and 5, which is a tough situation to be in. Fade instinctively, which is I think is a reasonable call, but then you kind of go back to the same spot. I would have either faded backwards or faded against this wall to make it harder for, like, to force her to come further around the angle to kill you, and then I would have immediately thrown a heal orb. Right? So like let's play this in real time. Okay, she's dead. Okay, I'm thinking to back up here, right? No reason for me to front line. I'm discorded. I'm already kind of scared because I'm discorded. Right? Okay, I take a little bit of shift. I'm backing up here. There's no reason for me to be going for it. I definitely am backing up here. Okay, now I've eaten some damage. I should throw a heal orb, right? Like as soon as you come out, throw a heal orb. Yeah, so your death there, and of course all your teammates' deaths after that are all definitely your fault. Okay, so you have Tyre coming. I think no matter what, even with Tyre, like you have to walk forward here, right? Because like you're trying to contest the point. There's no reason not to contest this. You might as well just die on this point. Your Genji's already out there. Your Diva's out there. Like just move forwards, even with the Tyre. So you gotta. Like, I think the right call here is trying to heal, right? Your Genji has Blade. If you keep him up, that he feels comfortable that he can pop Blade and not die while he's popping Blade, he might turn this fight around. Your right clicks and damage orbs are not going to turn this fight around. So you've now faded away, right? So you've given up. Like your poor Genji is like trying to clutch this, right? But you're playing way in the back for basically no reason. Right? Like, if you're going to die, you're going to die. Like, part of the reason why you may have low deaths is simply because you're not playing with your team. Like, you should be out there while this is happening, like, trying to keep your Genji life. If you're there, he lives through this. Like, for sure he lives through this. And instead, you're back here doing absolutely nothing, and now you've retreated. Right? Your monkey also would have had time to come out and help if you had actually been trying to fight for the point. Right? Prioritizing survival is not the only thing you should be doing when you can also potentially use it to like win the game. Right? Think about playing for the objective. So don't non-stop spray like that. You should spray and then like hold up a little bit, like burst spray basically, to let the ticks of healing, which are very significant, heal up. That's how we don't let them out of juice like you do right now. Okay. So weirdly enough, this is one of the rare times where I think you guys should throw a damage orb, because you have no juice right here. You're in a pretty safe position, but you got to get juice back or you're going to be useless. You have to throw a damage orb here to start farming it back.
Taste your weak.
Don't right sorry with bubble.
Surrender to my will.
You're gonna call the Junkrat, who does a ton of burst damage at close range, which is exactly what you don't want to happen as a Moira. Okay. You killed the Moira who's coalescing, which is a good play, but your backline is getting wrecked. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure from your angle you're like, oh, like, why is my team dying? Like, I'm making plays. But part of the reason your team is dying, in fact, a big part of the reason your team is dying, because you're not healing them. Like, you gotta heal them. Okay, so you have your Winston is super low in front right now. You're way too far back, right? Again, always stay close enough to them that you can heal them, right? You're way too far back. They're trying to right-click right now for no reason. You gotta be healing. You got plenty of juice. Like, you gotta be healing your Winston so you can make a play. Alright, Winston's full now. Now you can do whatever the heck you want. Okay, you force trance. Yeah, I think this part's reasonable. Right? The Winston's gotta get out, or you gotta save him. Good. Alright, you pop primal. That's okay. So You might have been able to save him here, and I probably would have. Because you know they're already down 2, right? Your Winston's in a bubble with 300 health. I would shift in here with the low health enemy. I would shift in here, throw Healing Orb, and heal your Winston, right? Why? Because I don't want him to use Primal. This is a 5v3, or I guess a 3v3, but like realistically, this fight's over. You have much closer spawns. So this fight is basically over already. No, sorry, it is a 5v3, right? Two and two dead on their side. So this is a 5v3 right now. I don't want my Winston to Primal. The Winston's going to Primal here because he's scared. Is that a mistake? Absolutely. But you could help him avoid that mistake by healing him, right? It's actually even better, Winston here, to die than to pop Primal. So that way you can save Primal for the next fight. But again, he gets scared, right? You can see him getting kind of low. He's like, oh shit, I'm down to 100 health, right? At which point you finally are able to get up to him to start healing, and then you pop Primal. This is a big mistake. He just wasted his Primal, and now you're not going to have it for the next one. Right? If I'm on the team, I'm thrilled. I'm like, great, you just wasted Primal to do nothing. Like, this is 100% a mistake. Way too much overhealing again, every time.
Thank you. Don't sass me.
This is kind of a high-level play, but I actually would have let the Ana heal them all up so that she could have gotten Nano sooner. You'd rather have one person have Nano, one support have Nano, and the other, or one support have Ultimate, and the other support not have Ultimate, than have both of them close to having Ultimate.
Your end is within my reach.
Okay, I would not be walking forward here. This is way too far forward for you doing it. Like, that open gap right there, you're going to die there. I'm like, the Winston comes back to me, or he's not going to heal. Like, he knows, right? He knows that he has to come back to you. I heal the Cassidy here, right? He's in forward, he's being focused by the Sojourn and the Junk and the Zarya. Like, heal the Cassidy here.
They asked for my help.
Your Ana's low that you just noticed. I don't even know how to do damage, but like, technically you got a limb credit for that, but like, that didn't make any difference. Like, you did, I don't know, 15 damage to the Zarya. Like, she was gonna die regardless. I wouldn't even count that. This is why Moira's get ridiculous stats as the next anything.
Cannot escape me.
Again, you're kind of wandering off, like, which I don't think you should be doing. Like, just, you know, stay close here, right? Heal, right? Your Ana's right next to you. You don't have to worry about like dying to spam. Okay, now they have high ground. So this is interesting, right? Because this Moira's kind of like pressuring you from above. You could right click and try to stall, or you could go up there and play with your Cassidy, which is probably what I would do, right? To try to control that off angle. Instead, you kind of just duck. The Cassidy's forced now into a 1-on-2, right? You see him up there? And he's like, oh, shit. Backs off. This is not your fault. Winston's far forward around the corner, right? I'm now like, okay, throw damage over something and just leave. Right? Now you're kind of waiting. Oh, God. Alright, so this is you trying to make a play. We'll see how well this works. Alright, everyone's bubble. Okay, that was a big grenade, right? Grenade hits the Sojourn, you get a kill out of it. Zarya, you're never gonna be able to kill. Throw a damage order again. You dodge grab, which is honestly lucky more than anything else because you didn't know that she was throwing Gav, but we'll take it. Okay, so Winston's back. I would have jumped on. Let's back this up. So when I saw how injured my Junk was, I would have jumped. Oh shoot! I messed that up. Okay, right here, finally. So when I see how low my Junk is, I would have shift jumped from here over there to try to heal him. In reality, you actually wouldn't be able to save him, but that's just something to know, like in terms of movement, that was an option for you, right? You were under no other pressure. I would have done that to try to save my Junk. So you shifted in here to try to get kills / farm the lessons, and of course you die now for it. Finally, you get punished for what I consider a crazy thing that you do all the time, which is fading into the enemy. Right? Like, this is a dangerous thing. Their whole team is respawning. You don't have any of your team with you, right? You just saw your Junkrat die, for example. Fade in here the bubble, and then you're like, oh shoot, I don't have Orb and I don't have Fade. So in this situation, you should have played I mean, granted, it's a mistake to be here to begin with. You should have played against this wall, right, and ran along this way to give yourself as much time as possible for Fade to come off cooldown while AD strafing to dodge the Sojourn. But instead, you continue walking kind of in the open, and I mean, Sojourn probably would kill you anyway. Actually, she slid right into you.
This ends now.
All right, she's popped overclocked. So again, if your Winston had Primal, he would be able to do something right now, but he does not. So he's scared. We're still waiting for you to respawn. All right, you fade. You should jump at the end of the fade. That way you get maximum distance out of it and get out a little bit faster. So now you're just in stagger, like triple mode. Right? You don't want to die here. You definitely do not want to die here, right? Because you have your monkey's gonna respawn, right? You have people coming back out. Dying right here, big mistake, big mistake, right? Jumping down right now, like you have plenty of time for them to reach the point. There's no reason to drop right now. Okay, you drop, which means you're gonna get focused. Fade backwards. Okay, that seems fine that you stay alive, but now you're out of position. You can't heal anyone from here. Right, so you just have your right click, which is again 40 damage a second, right? That's your contribution to this fight, is 40 damage a second. Okay, so Junk throws first concussive at you. He almost gets you that direct. Honestly, you should be dead already. Okay, you throw heal orb to try to live, and you die. So big series of mistakes. You should never have died to begin with, right? When you faded in, right? Over here, right? You should never. Like this, big mistake, right? This is what puts your team already in a bad position for the final fight. Then, when you come back out, right, you drop down. You drop down here, which is a mistake. I would have waited for the monkey to come out, right? Again, you're not going to do anything by yourself with Moira here. Like, literally nothing. Don't do this, right? And then you use fade because you're in a really bad position. They force out the fade, and once your fade's forced out, then they try to kill you, which is the right call. And then you die, which means now, when your monkey is out, there's nobody to heal or do anything. Right? You could have waited longer, for sure, before contesting that card. Big mistake. Alright, so fight started. Your Sigma's playing low ground, so I guess you have to play with the Sigma. You have to watch out for hook here. Okay, again, yeah, step forward, that's the right call. Step forward, try to save your Sig. Right call, again, release, heal, like he's already top, he's good, like you don't need to keep healing at this point. Just have a little bit. You throw a damage orb, which is a questionable call. I think we're going to throw a healing orb there. Right, remember the healing gives you ult charge a lot faster than damage does, just because you heal so much more. So if you want more coals, heal more versus damage more. Healing, okay, this is super dangerous. The Junk's like on top of you. Fading is the right call. That's good. Okay, there's nothing you can do against that hook. This is a great example where being Moira, there's only so much you can do, right? If you're Ana, you can shut down this hog completely with sleep and grenade. As Moira, what are you gonna do? Nothing, right? You can't stop people from getting one shot by hook. So you're on the point right now. I would actually shift forwards, believe it or not, to behind my Sigma. If you shift backwards, they're gonna hunt you down and kill you regardless. I'd rather shift to my Sigma, give him more of a chance to make a play here. Okay, you try to shift up here, which is okay. Actually, I think this is. Oh, I guess you're still getting chased down by the soldier. In the grand scheme of things, I think it's okay. But again, like, what is your Sigma gonna do right now without healing? You drop back down, which is a good call. You actually did a pretty good job of staying alive here.
May I?
Okay, you're trying to stop right-clicking here. Like your Sigma's so low. Your hog is like 600 health, right? Like you're never gonna right-click and kill the hog. Heal your Sigma. All right, you died. Okay, so they capped the first point, unsurprisingly. I mean, not all that was entirely your fault, right? Again, the hog's hitting hooks, but you're not able to make much of a hit impact here. That Cassidy is too far for you to heal. That entire spray, too far. Right, like none of this spray is reaching him. Is that orb? I think that mostly was healing him right there. Actually, no. I guess it is healing him. Yeah, he's just in range. He dies to 2 shots anyway by the jump.
Pain is inevitable. Objective lost. Stop the payload.
All right, you're probably looking for one more damage orb and then getting out, which I think is reasonable.
Prepare yourselves. Prophetic blood has
Jump forward a little bit. Okay, so you're gonna try to pocket your Sigma here, but again, Hook's a very serious threat right here. way too much healing, right? So much mist, plus he's already full. You can hear your Pharah ulti, which is pretty tricky because you can't really help here very much in this situation. You throw a damage orb, which is not ideal. Like those just kind of get, it's kind of gonna get absorbed by everybody, but that's fine. You Cole here, which I think is reasonable, right? I again would be healing my very low health Sigma who is ulting right now, or my Mercy who is low. You are doing neither of those things. You really focus on getting this kill. Again, 2 critical health heroes right here. Coalescence heals like 4 times as much as it does damage. Great. Now you've lost your Mercy. Now just start healing your Sigma, but you can't really get him because you're in that angle. Alright, killed the Hog. And actually, like, God bless your teammates for making the most of not having basically only one support for most of the game. Alright, we're gonna jump forward. So why don't you take this on offense? What happens? So 229, plenty of time, right? You're playing D.Va. Again, D.Va's a hero that needs a lot of healing, right? A lot of healing. You throw a damage orb here, even though your Bastion is low, and in turret mode, like throwing a heal orb there makes a big difference. Sojourn cannot one-tap him because he doesn't have a front hitbox, critical hitbox. So if you heal him there with healing orb, you heal like 150 health a second. Like, he's not gonna die to that Sojourn. Big mistake. Now, you also die. Let's pay attention. How do you die? You just die to spam. Yeah, you just die to spam. Again, a healing orb would also have kept you up so that you don't get that here. Right? You first eat this right now. Like, because you have you threw a damage orb, like you now don't have healing orb. Okay, so now your Bastion goes turret form. So right here, 100% throwing a healing orb so that my Bastion can step forward in tank mode and do damage. You throw a damage orb. Right? That damage orb, that 200 damage or whatever, is nothing compared to keeping a tank mode Bastion up, shooting people in the open. Right? So now you get res. You wouldn't have died potentially if you had healing orb instead. But now your Mercy wasn't able to res the Bastion because you're dead. You're the one who got the res. Your other DPS is dead, so this fight's over. This is a reset. And again, your wasteful juice means that you can't even heal this D.Va up very quickly. You heal your Mercy, who is not damaged in any way. Okay, you have Coalescence. So, again, optimal Coalescence is both healing teammates and damaging them. So you play from the back, right, and you have this long beam that hits multiple teammates and multiple enemies at once. You, unfortunately, have a tendency to just kind of chase down each other enemies a bit, right? So you should shift to the left here. You're fast enough that Ryan will never be able to hit you, right? You shift to the left so you're constantly healing your D.Va while damaging them at the same time. Right? So you kind of instinctively back up to the right. I would have shifted to the left and forced the Ryan to come get me while I'm healing and damaging at the same time. But if your D.Va loses mech anyway, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you're healing her the whole time, so it is what it is. Right? Okay, you get a kill on the Ryan. Great. So you hear the tire coming? I would have backed up when you heard the tire coming because you're going to eat this tire. He knows that you can't fade because your Coalescence up. And we lose 2. So, yeah, we killed the Rhine, but it doesn't actually end up mattering because he gets rezzed and Tyre ends up killing you anyway.
Receive my aid.
So you're coming back out right now. You don't have Coalescence, right? You do have Visor soon, so I'm thinking, hey, make sure Mercy can pocket the Soldier, so I'm going to focus on keeping the tank up, right? And we're just looking for a good Visor opportunity. Ideally, I want Soldier to take high ground, either top right or top left to Visor. Fine as a heal orb. Alright, Bastion is ulting, which is fine. Again, I don't know why you're playing down here, right? Go up and play with your tank. Your tank is at half health right now, which prevents her from making any plays. Like, you're just throwing damage orbs down here, doing literally nothing. Again, your D.Va's now dived in. So, if you haven't thrown a damage orb, you actually, this would be a huge opportunity to shift and use damage orb to kill her quickly. Right? Now it's a little dicier. Like, yeah, you can get her higher tiers. Maybe that doesn't work, and maybe she kills you. Alright. Your D.Va's super low. Okay. Your team honestly doing a really great job overall. I think your team is stronger than their team for sure. At basically every position. Like, oh, do you guys actually win this? I'm surprised that you lose this. I guess it's possible. You have 30 seconds left. Alright, so you're trying to heal up your D.Va. Again, stop healing. You stop. Yeah, too much. Stop a little short. Right. Again, weirdly enough, there's a time where actually I would want you to be trying to farm some right clicks because you're healing your D.Va so much that you actually don't have healing juice anymore. Yeah, tap him. Do a little bit of right click. Go back to healing. Right. See how much damage your D.Va's taking? Go back to healing right now. Okay, healing orb. Good choice of healing orb finally. Okay. You did a great job dodging that. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but you did a great job dodging that. Unfortunately, you have 6 seconds left, so kind of a problem territory. Again, this is a great example where as Moira, you have no utility, right? If you are playing Kiriko, you can Suzu here, right, to save. If you're Ana, you can Sleep here to save. If you're Baptiste, you can Lamp here to save. As Moira, you don't have any of those tools. That's just not the way Moira works. That's why she has a very low skill ceiling in terms of what you can possibly do. Because yeah, you dodge the Shatter, but how are you gonna like? You can't carry the rest of the game from here. So it's pretty tough, right? I probably would have kept healing. I would have run along the path of the like. I would immediately start running forward right now, right? So I can start saving the Bastion because the Bastion's not going to die in one hit because he has armor. So if you kept healing here, maybe he survives, right? But like that's really your best choice. Like you don't have any other options here, right? It is currently 3-on-5, right? And you have I think baby D.Va maybe. Like there's nothing you can really do here other than you have to save that Bastion. Oh no, fight ends. So overall takeaways. Too much damage at the wrong times. You're not healing people. In particular, you're not healing your tanks and also DPS that are in front of you. Your coalescence usage is like overall probably above average for your level, but I wish that you could recognize when you need to use it to heal teammates as well. And then simultaneously, you have a few just stupid deaths way out of position where you're being way too aggressive. And those cost you for sure, right? If you didn't, even one of those, you didn't die, I think maybe you win this game. And then finally, I would say, yeah, when you play Moira, there's an ultimate skill ceiling as to what you can possibly do as Moira. And yeah, there's some situations where you literally can't do anything more. But in this game, there are definitely things you could have done to win. But at the very end of the game, you kind of put yourself in a bad situation where there's not a lot you could have done. All right, cool. Hopefully that helps.